Hair podcast. My name is Nikki. I am also known as Knitting with Cat Hair on Instagram and Cat Hair Knitting on Ravelry. I am coming to you from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, which lies atop the traditional lands of the Atikameksheng Anishinaabe people, where I live with my partner, our 2 daughters, and our 5 cats. And hence the name of the podcast, as I'm always finding cat hair in my knitting. So a big welcome back to all returning viewers and a big warm welcome to all new viewers. I hope that everyone had a wonderful holiday season and that 2023 is starting off wonderfully. So I think I have quite a bit to talk about today. It's taken me a little bit of time to record just because I actually ended up having to get a new phone. My phone was quite outdated and I didn't have the storage space anymore on it to keep podcasting. So I actually had to get a new phone and it's taking me a little while to get used to all the new functions on this phone. So please bear with me. I'm not using a microphone and I hope that the sound is going to be okay. But anyways, we're gonna truck on through and I'll make any necessary changes as I learn. All right, so first off, we do have a Marie Wallin make-along happening over on Instagram. It is called Another Year of Marie Wallin Mal, and you can follow along with the hashtag Another Year of MW Mal. And if you'd like to participate, you can share your whips and your chatter and your plans and all that using that hashtag. And when you do finish a Marie Wallin pattern, please use the hashtag Another Year of MW Mal FO, and that is where I will be drawing prizes from. And this Mal is running until August 1st of 2023, so this year. We've already had so many beautiful projects completed and yeah, so many more in the works, including a few of my own. So yeah, you're more than welcome to join in. I also have a Slack group, which is basically in lieu of a Ravelry knitting group. I have a Slack group, which is an app similar to Discord that anyone who knits is welcome to join. You can find the link, I always put it down below in the description, or you can find it over on my Instagram in my link tree. And yeah, it's a friendly little group. We're just chat about all things making. It doesn't have to be knitting, crochet, spinning, lots of different crafts. Yeah, lots of support to be found over there. So we'd love to have you join in. And yeah, I think that's it for all of the admin stuff. So let's get into the knitting. So I do have some notes. I might be looking down a little bit. Okay, first off, I'll start with what I'm wearing. Today I'm wearing my beautiful Wild Posy. This is the Luna version. So there's 2 versions. It's a pattern by B. Mandarins or Melody Hoffman. And this is the textured stitch version. I'm just gonna come close so you can see. So it's got all these lovely textured stitches on it, wrap stitches. It's really pretty. It was a really fun make. It was my first ever test knit. Actually, to date, it's my only test knit that I've done. And I really enjoyed it. And I knit this up out of 3 strands of New to Den by Anarok Iyer held together. And yeah, it's really cozy. It's very warm, very, very warm. I can use this when it's not too cold out. I just wear this without a coat and I am pleasantly warm. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful pattern. Highly recommend. Okay, so now we'll start with FOs, finished objects. So I have a few. Start with the one that I showed, I think, in my last episode with my mom. So these are my Scrappy Advent calendar socks. So I explained in my last episode that my mom and I were too frugal to purchase a yarn calendar, advent calendar, because they are quite expensive. And I have so many superwash yarns that I bought way back when. I went on when I first started getting back into knitting in 2017, I kind of just went crazy. And, you know, every time I was out and about, I would grab a single skein of bright superwash yarn colors and, oftentimes sock yarns. But anyways, I have all these leftovers. So I thought it would be fun to just take 24 random skeins or leftovers of sock yarn, superwash sock yarn, so they're all washable, and place an individual color in in a paper bag. So there's 24 different bags, and each day my mom and I would choose a bag and we would knit a stripe in that color. Now we both chose different contrasting colors to kind of keep a somewhat cohesive look to the socks. So I chose cream color, as you can see, and I'll pop in a picture of my mom's socks as well. Actually, I have a picture, I think, of both of us wearing our socks on Christmas Day. And you'll see how different they look, even though we use the exact same colors in the exact same order. Just by switching up that contrast color, it makes them look completely different. So she chose this dark brown mohair acrylic mix, I think. We don't actually know what it is. It's some no-name kind of yarn that I think she picked up in Ecuador when she was there a few years ago. So yeah, anyways, it was such a fun project. Highly recommend doing it. It's a great way to use up some scraps and to save money, because you don't have to purchase an advent calendar. Not that I'm opposed to that. They're beautiful by all means. But yeah, it's a great way to put scraps to use and to be pleasantly surprised every day. I completely forgot what colors were in there. We also had my daughter throw in, I have a plethora of teas, and my daughter picked a different tea, 2 tea bags of the same tea each day, and put them in these bags as well. And so we were drinking tea. Got rid of, what, 48 tea bags as well throughout December. So yeah, that's my first finished object. It's just a vanilla sock. I did I think it was 10 rounds for the cuff of 1x1 twisted rib. And then I think for my stripes I did 6 stitches. Did I write it down? Nope. I believe I did 6 rows or rounds per colored stripe, and then 2 rounds of the cream color in between. And they're quite short, and that's because I needed to fit all of the colors. So 12 colors per sock. They're both different. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with those. I used my standard US 1 2.25mm needles to make them. And the yarns are, like I said, are a bunch of scraps. The cream color is Drops Fable. I can't remember the name of the color. It wasn't the white. I think it's like an off-white or a natural white or something like that, because it's more of a cream. So that is my first finished object. Next up, I don't have, some of these I won't have with me just because they were gift knits. So next up, I finished another Christopher bunny. I had shown it on my last episode, the start of this bunny, who I was making her for our next door neighbor's daughter, who is not 2 years old yet. And so yeah, I'll pop in a picture so you can see what I did. And I mentioned this on the previous episode, but I shamelessly copied Yana Finished Knitting Stories and put eyelashes on and then made a dress. And the dress I just winged. I think I started off by using the pattern. Christopher Bunny comes with not just the bunny pattern, but comes with a pattern for the sweater and pants as well. And so to make the dress, I just started by casting on the number of stitches needed for I think I started by, did I? I think I cast on the number of stitches for the neckline of the sweater to start. Anyways, I put all of the instructions line by line, like round by round, on my Ravelry page under the project. So you're welcome to check it out if you'd like to do that as well. I should mention anything that I talk about, I will link down below, including Ravelry pages, any project bags, makers that I mention, podcasts, etc. Yeah, so this was a really fun project. This is my second bunny that I've made, and again, I used mostly yarn ends to stuff her. However, I did run out, and then I have to supplement with some polyfill that I had gotten in a kit, a crochet kit. So I did use some of that. And I used, for the yarn, I used Patton's Classic Wool Worsted for the bunny itself. And then for the dress, I just used some acrylic Vanna's Choice, I think it's called. Something like that, in a pink. They were both worsted weight, I think. Actually, the Vanna's might have been Aran weight. That's why it turned out a little bit larger. But anyways, all the details can be found on my project page. And I used a US 7 4.5mm needle to make the bunny and the outfit. And from what I've heard, it was a big success, and our neighbor's daughter really loved her little bunny, so that's great. Okay, so speaking about bunnies, this is the one that I made for my daughter, and this is Dusty Bunny. And I finished the Bunny's Garter hoodie, also by Susan B. Anderson. I don't know if I mentioned that the bunny is by Susan B. Anderson. Wonderful pattern, no seaming involved. All you do is pick up stitches and knit that way, so it's really great if you don't like to seam, and even has a little tail, which is so cute. So yes, I made this hoodie, and I just love how its their little ears stick out. And it has a little pocket on it. Now it comes with, the pattern comes with a little miniature bunny that you can make to stuff in the little pocket, which is cute, but my daughter didn't want it. And then I just got some cheapy wooden buttons from, I think from Michael's, to put on the hoodie to finish it off. Super quick knit. Yeah, highly recommend. And I used Cascade 220 worsted heathers, I think. In, I forget the name of the color. I don't remember this. I don't think it's turtle. I think turtle's a lighter green. But anyways, it's a really pretty green. It's actually beautiful. It's got lots of nuances to it. I'm sure it doesn't show up on camera, but it's very pretty. And US 7. I used US 7 again, 4.5mm needles to make the little hoodie. Okay. And then my last finished object was something I actually started last year. I'll show you the project bag because I think it's really, really cute. This is a project bag by Blue Rabbit House. This is the polar bear, and I think his name is Boris, if I'm not mistaken. I love this project bag. And for those who don't know, my day job is I'm a species at risk specialist here in Ontario for the province. And so species at risk, endangered, threatened species are very near and dear to my heart, and polar bears happen to be one of our endangered species. So yeah, I had to get the bear bag. So housed in here is a Christmas stocking that I'm making. So I'm determined to make Christmas stockings for each of us. So 4 Christmas stockings. And then I would actually hope to make some for the grandparents as well. I think that'd be really nice to have everyone have them. But I'll start with this. Oh, and it might be, hopefully it's not backwards. But yeah, I finished my daughter Lily's Christmas stocking. It's quite large. I measured it against the other stockings that we have, like the store-bought ones, and it's pretty similar sized, although it's a little bit longer, I think, at the top. But yeah, it was a really fun knit. I love color work. I find it goes so quickly, and it's just, for me, it's potato chippy. It's like one more row. I just want to see what's going to come next. And so I had a lot of fun making this. And I should say it's not 100% done because my intention is to actually line the inside. So I did catch my floats. Let me show you. I did catch them. However, I just feel like, I don't know, I think a nice lining on the inside would be good, and stop, just in case, you know, when you start putting stuff in it, it doesn't get snagged at all. And so what I have done here is I've knit, you do a purl row here, and then you just knit, I forget how long that is, 4 inches or so to fold in, and that gives you a kind of a puffier rim, I guess, or cuff. And then what I'm going to do is attach some fabric to the end of that, and then just like line the inside. I'm sorry, it's not been washed or blocked. I don't really have anything to block them on. I could just lay them flat, but and there's lots of cat hair in it. But yeah, so that's the first of 4 stockings done now. The pattern is by, I think, Delaney Giordano. It is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, And she has several different color work Christmas stocking patterns, and I'm going to be making, like I said, three. They're all going to be different. And the yarns that I used for this are Briggs & Little Sport, which is actually a single ply. So I'm not sure how long that's going to hold up for. I hope it does hold up. It doesn't seem to be pilling after, you know, 1 year of knitting on this. There's no pilling yet or anything, so that's good. And it's a pretty, like, very rustic yarn, I would say. So hopefully it'll be durable. And it is, did I say it's a sport weight? Sport weight. And I used, I can't remember what sizes I used, but I do have to go up 2 sizes for color work, as opposed to when I'm knitting non-color work, because I guess I knit color work quite tight. But all the details can be found on my project page. So I finished that one and then promptly cast on the second one, because I was feeling it. And I don't know, let me know in the comments down below, are you the type of person who's heavily influenced by seasonality or by holiday knitting and stuff like that? Because I know for myself, once Christmas, let's say New Year's is over, I kind of don't want to work on things that are related to Christmas anymore. But like, once the first snow falls in like November usually here, I want to work on all the Christmas things. It's funny, but it's a short period of time where I can actually make, well, I could theoretically make it any time of year, but I just am not in the mood. So I'm putting this one away after. This is in hibernation now until next Christmas, probably. So this is going to be my stepdaughter Abby's stocking. Here, I'll show you what the front looks like. So hers is green and white, also out of Briggs & Little Sport. So that's kind of like the front. And then on the back, there's like on the heel, there's the sole, I guess. There's this Peary pattern, which is really pretty. Oh, and I forgot to mention, along the toe and at the cuffs, there's different designs you can choose to put in to kind of personalize it, I guess. So I've chosen this kind of pyramid design, mostly because it worked with the lettering. I'm not going to go into details, but let's just say some of the letters are not the same size as others, so you have to do a little bit of jigging to kind of make, like, I want all 4 stockings to be the exact same length and stuff, so I had to do a bit of math to figure things out and make sure that they're all going to work out. So yeah, really enjoying it. But like I said, kind of out of the festive spirit now, so this will be going away until next year, or not next year, until next winter, I guess. Okay, so I guess that leads us into works in progress. So that's my first works in progress. My next work in progress is a pattern by Jennifer Steingass, and it is called Brightfeather. Let's see if I can get it all in. So it is this beautiful color work sweater, and I have finished one of the sleeves. I am in love with the sleeve cuff. It is so pretty to me. I love it. And I'm just starting the color work on the next sleeve. So the sleeves, I've actually did one full sleeve and then ripped it back. Actually, I should say, I knit one full sleeve down to the color work and then had to rip it all back because it was way too large. This is something that I find to be an issue for myself specifically with a lot of designers. So most of the time, I'm about an extra large now. My bust is a 45-inch circumference for reference. And I do find that for whatever reason, that often leads to designers thinking that we need these like ginormous arms. And like, I don't think my arms are abnormally small. I think it's a design issue, truthfully, because I've noticed it on several different patterns. Yeah, I don't know. Like, just because I have a big chest doesn't mean my arms are like legs. Like, seriously, that's how big it turned out. I went down 20 stitches, which is huge. So it's supposed to be 70 stitches long, like wide or circumference, and I've reduced it to 50. So what I ended up doing was, instead of decreasing every 11th row, I think it was, round, I decreased every 5th round, and I started the decreases right away. And so that has given me a nice fitting sleeve. So yeah, I think that's the only, oh no, I made one more modification because I noticed that the, my row gauge is actually quite loose. So the yoke was turning out to be quite deep before separation, and I didn't want to separate too far down, because then you end up like with bat wings. This one has a little tiny bit. I probably could have separated a little higher up actually on this one. But yeah, I definitely don't want it too low. So I just removed, I think, 5 rounds in the pattern. Oh, sorry, my cat is attacking my yarn. And normally I don't really care if they attack my yarn, but with knitted in, it breaks and it's a bit of a pain. So yes, I knit this out of knitted in. I held 2 strands together. So I'm using a pink and a brown, and hopefully the colors are showing up on camera. So it's this really pretty pale pink, and then this beautiful golden brown. I don't know if you can see, this is one of my 5 cats. This is Sammy. He is in love with this blanket. This is my Hexie blanket. It's not done yet, so that's why I'm not showing it. It's nearly done, but I've just been throwing it on the back of our love seat here, and he is obsessed with it. He loves it. Woolen cats. Yeah, so I am making, what am I making? The size G, which is a 52 inch. As I mentioned, I have a 45 inch bust. My gauge is actually tighter, so my stitch gauge is tighter, although my row gauge is looser. So it's actually going to end up being about the size F, so 49.75 inches or something like that, which is perfect. That's good. I'm sorry if you can hear noise outside. My neighbor sounds like he's staple gunning something on his house. I don't know what. He's always working on his house. Anyways, so I apologize if there's background noise. I think that's all I wanted to say about the Brightfeather. Yeah. But if you ever have any questions about anything that I mentioned, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and I always respond to every comment. I read everyone and I respond to every single one. So yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Okay, and then my final work in progress that I'm going to talk about today. This is not all the works in progresses I have. I actually did a tally. Before Christmas, I had 13, which blew my mind. I had no idea I had that many on the needles. It's funny how they can just kind of like, I don't know, get away from you and you forget, like, oh yes, I have that one too. Anyway, so I had 13 before Christmas. I finished 5. So I went down to 8, and then with the stocking, and then I just cast on Abby's stocking. So that brought me back up to 9. So I'm at 9. 2 of those are blankets, which, as you know, don't count. So really I have 7. But I will say that a mistake that I have made is casting on too many longer term, more complex projects at a time. So I have 2 Marie Wallin sweaters and a sweater dress on the go, and those the sweater dress is knit in fingering weight yarn, so it's going to take forever just by sheer length of it, and it's boring. It's really boring to work on, so it's actually in hibernation right now. And then the 2 Marie Wallin projects are long-term because one's a colorwork and one's a cable lace, and they just take a really long time, and I really regret having 3 on my needles at the same time, long-term projects, garment projects, because I just find that it feels like I'm not getting anywhere. I know I am, but anyways, I won't make that mistake again. So I will talk about one Marie Wallin project today because I didn't really do much on my colorwork one. So I am knitting the Daffodil, which is found in the Springtime Collections book. You can buy the pattern individually as well. You don't have to get it the whole book. I'll pop in a picture of what the finished sweater looks like. It's really pretty. Really, really pretty. It's all over cables and lace. It's knit in pieces flat and then seamed, and that's how I'm knitting it. I'm choosing to knit that way. And I've already finished, I'll show again, I've finished the back piece last year. I can say that now. So this is the back piece. I'll show you a close-up of the lace and cables. It's really pretty. I had, last I think I spoke about this, I had washed and blocked the back piece. And then talked about how it had shrunk. So I'm using Holskarn Super Soft in the colorway Sweet Pea, which is this beautiful complex pink. I don't know if this new phone will pick up the colors, probably not. But anyways, it's got purple and yellow and pink in it, and it's just gorgeous. But yes, apparently I was warned that Holskarn Super Soft yarn does shrink when you wash it, basically. And I was shocked to find out that it shrunk by quite a bit. I think someone in our Slack group did a bit of an experiment to see how much approximately the yarn shrinks by after washing, and I think it was about 10%. So I have to go back and add in more length on my back piece. I haven't done it yet. I'm still working on the front. But yes, I'm gonna have to rip out all the shaping, which is such a drag because I find the shaping quite onerous, and that's the most complex part of this pattern for me, is doing the shaping and keeping in pattern and following the directions and then reversing it as per Marie Wallin says. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed about that, not gonna lie. I put it in timeout for a while, so I've only just picked it up again recently and started working on the front piece again. So I'm gonna add 10% in length to it, and hopefully that will solve my problem. And then I'll have to go back and add another 10% to this one. So yes, I am here. So the Progress Keeper shows you where I was last time. I showed this a couple of podcast episodes ago. Oops. And I really haven't made tons of progress. It is a very enjoyable knit, but it does take concentration, obviously. You have to keep track of where you're at. And I wanted to mention this because I don't think I mentioned it before, but I am using KnitCompanion to keep track of, actually I use it for most patterns now. So I have a love-hate relationship with KnitCompanion, so I'm going to go off on a tangent here. If you haven't heard of it, it's an app that you can use that's made specifically for knitting, that you can either import your PDF patterns into, or you can link to your Ravelry account, and it has grant it access to all of the patterns that you have purchased through Ravelry, and you can pull those over, create projects. And then with the paid for version, you can do a multitude of different things. With the free version, what I use it for basically is it has a highlighter bar, actually a vertical and a horizontal, and you can slide those around and just mark where you are on your pattern. So I use that to keep track of where I am in my chart. The downside, so I had the paid for version several years ago. I think back in 2017 when I started knitting again. I think it was that long ago. I paid for the paid for version so I could do all the fancy things with it. And something happened where, okay, firstly, your account is not transferable. So like if you have it on multiple devices, it doesn't keep track of the documents on multiple devices for you. Like if you move your bar on one, it doesn't reflect. It's not synced. That's the word I'm trying to say. They're not synced. Okay, so that's just something to be mindful of. Secondly, I used a device that I guess got outdated at some point, so they provided updates, and I took the update on my KnitCompanion app, and it completely lost all my progress. I lost all the notes I had in there. So I had put notes, I had, you know, kept track of things, and like there's little counters you can put numbers into, like when you're, you know, counting different rows and stuff like that. Lost all of it and had to figure out on my project. Luckily at that time I only had like 3 projects on the go, so it wasn't a huge deal, but I lost all my progress and I got so pissed off. I was so mad. And then I still kept using it, and it happened again twice. So they did another update on it, and then I think the second time when I took the update, I actually couldn't use KnitCompanion at all on my tablet anymore, I guess because my tablet's so outdated. And I was so pissed because I had, you know, figured out where I was and done everything all over again. Anyways, so I wrote the company and I complained because I'm like, I'm paying for this, like, and you totally screwed me over. And they're like, oh, sorry, basically too bad, you know, your thing's up. Did you take the update? Yes, I did, and now I can't use it at all. Oh, well, you need to get a new device. Like, okay, there's my rant. So I will never pay for it again. So now I just use it, like I said, just use the scroll bar to keep track of where I am in a in the pattern. And it's good because you can zoom in, you know, if you are like me and your eyesight is not what it used to be. So it's nice to be able to zoom in, but you can't make notes or anything like that. But anyways, there's my story about KnitCompanion. So where was I going with this? I don't even remember. Oh, I was keeping track of it. Oh yes, so I got this new phone, right? Didn't think about this. I transferred over everything from my old phone, but didn't think about the fact that, you know, the KnitCompanion app isn't transferable, although, yeah, so I lost all my progress on things. Thank God I was keeping track of the numbered row I was on with pen, pencil, and paper. So I was able to quickly figure out where I was. I have trouble reading my lace, like, truthfully. Colorwork is a different story. That's easy for me to figure out where I am in a colorwork pattern, but for lace and cables, I struggle. So I have to keep track of it. So I'm glad that I've been keeping track on paper. There we go. There's my rant. So that's what I've done for the front. Let me know. Do you use KnitCompanion? Have you had similar issues with it? Yeah, I don't know why, like, when other apps are like so easily syncable, like, I don't know why they can't get it to sync up. And unless maybe they do now. No, because I transferred everything and it didn't work. Anyways, yeah, let me know what you use to keep track of complex patterns and things. Is there something else out there that I'm not aware of? I've heard of another paid for app. I can't remember the name of it now, but I know there was mention of it in our Slack group. I think it allows you to, I'm not entirely sure, actually. Can't remember why it was great, but some people were using it. Anyways, yeah, let me know what you use. Okay, so I think that's it. Oh, I'll talk about some of the details about the Daffodil. So I'm using US 1 2.25 millimeter needles for the ribbing. And then for the main body, I'm using US 2.75 millimeter needles. I'm knitting the size extra large, which accommodates a 44 to 46 inch bust. Sorry, that's my cat, Pete. He's brought me something. Oh, he brought me a penguin. Hi, Pete. Are you gonna come say hi? Hi. Oh, I can't show you him. Oh, now there's another cat. They're congregating and they may start fighting. Anyways, sorry, totally distracted. So yes, I'm making the extra large, which is a 44 to accommodates a 44 to 46 inch bust, but my gauge is looser, even though I'm on a US 2. I guess I'm a loose knitter. Marie Wallin's a really tight knitter. Yeah, so it's going to be larger than expected, but that's okay. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so that's all the whips I'm going to talk about for today. And I'll move on to some future plans. I have no business casting on anything else. I know. It's ridiculous, but we can dream, right? And these future plans have yarn already, so they may get accidentally cast on at a moment's notice. Okay, so first off, yeah. So Amelia of the Amelian Style podcast here on YouTube was doing a giveaway, and I was the lucky winner. I seem to have, like, I have to say, I have like extremely good luck when it comes to giveaways, yarny ones anyways, or knitting related ones. So I don't know why. Now, if only I could win the lottery. Anyways, it's almost as good, right? Ugh, come on. For a knitter, like winning yarn or knitting related items or patterns, it's just as good. So I won a free pattern of my choice, and I've had the Sunday cardigan by Petite Knit in my queue for like 5, coming up on 6 years probably. I've always wanted to make it. I'll pop in a picture of what it looks like. I just think it's so cute. Yeah, and I've been wanting to make it for over 5 years. So to me, that's the test of whether or not I'll actually wear it. If it's something that I've wanted to make for a really long time, chances are I'm still gonna love it if I still want to make it at that time. And I'm gonna love it for a long time. Because I don't know, I have fleeting, you know, there's things where I see things and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna cast that on, I love it, love it, love it. And then you know, a few months go by and I'm like, don't really love it as much as I thought I did, or I love something else more. So it's good for me to wait on things. So anyways, I'm gonna make the Sunday cardigan. So I had ordered yarn for it as soon as I got the pattern. I promptly ordered yarn. And I always knew I wanted to make it out of Let Low base. So I'm gonna use this color, which I think is medium gray. Is that a color? This doesn't have the names on it. It's color 57. I think it's the medium gray, so it's not the light one or the dark one. It's the middle one. And then I'm gonna pair it with this really pretty charcoal Drops Kid Silk in the color 22. This one, I thought it had a name too, but it doesn't seem to. So yeah, I'm gonna hold these two together. I think it'll be really pretty. And really wearable. So I don't know if you can hear, but there's some Gautier playing in the background now. I think it's Gautier, or maybe Walk Off the Earth version. Okay, so that's my first knitting plan, and that's probably going to be the first thing I cast on as soon as I get my Brightfeather off the needles. Probably going to be casting that on. Okay, next I've had the Braids of Grass pattern since probably around this time, maybe a little earlier, last year. And I tried knitting it with a cotton alpaca, I think it was, or cotton wool yarn, and it just did not work because it didn't have the right kind of structure. So I have since revisited yarns, and now I've decided I'm going to use Briggs & Little, Regal, in this, okay, it's not even showing up, it's nice. Beautiful fur green. So it is a green with like blue and yellow throughout it, little specks, and it's so pretty, so pretty. So I will pop in a picture of what the Braids of Grass sweater looks like by Ailbiona McLochlann. Yeah, I've been wanting to make that for quite a while now, so that will be a new cast on as well. soon. Okay, next up. Oh, I forgot to bring the yarn up for that one, so we'll skip that one. I do want to make, I don't have a pattern chosen yet. So if you watched my last episode with my mom, where we were talking about, she was working on a pattern called Savin, which is an all over cabled jumper that's knit in pieces and seamed. And it's by, I forget who it's by, but I saw it on the Hudson Westco Instagram account. So I think it's by them. So I was going to make the Savin as well, but I have since decided I'm not going to make it. So after watching my mom make it or work through it, she got pretty far too when she was with us. She finished both sleeves and was working on the front, I think. Yes, the front. And she got a significant way through. And the thing that I don't like about the pattern, so the pattern I think is like 29 pages long. It's super big, super detailed. But it's written to be like a, I think, unisex pattern. But it's, no. It's almost written for the, like as a male, like a man's sweater. And then they do give you some suggested guidelines for tweaking it to make it more feminine, I think. But like all it says is stuff like shorten hem by 2 inches, or shorten sleeves by 2 inches, or leave out the waist shaping, or what have you. But it just didn't seem, I don't know, for 29 pages, I wish they would have taken the time to kind of walk it through and maybe spoon-fed me a little more to make the more feminine version. I didn't want to, okay, this is it. I didn't want to have to figure it out myself. I'm doing enough of that with the Daffodil. I just didn't want that. So after seeing her go through that, my mom go through it, I was like, no, yeah, no, don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to find another pattern. So I bought this really inexpensive fisherman's wool. It's 100% wool. It doesn't come in a ton of colors. I think it comes in like possibly 4 colors or so. I'm sorry about my cat. Pete. He wants to go outside and he's not allowed. Okay, so yeah, it comes in 4 different colors, I think, or 5. There's a tweed one as well. I got this like oatmeal color. Does it say the name? It is called oatmeal. This oatmeal color, which is really pretty. It's got some different shades in it, so it's pretty. So I ordered that from yarncanada.ca, and I ordered 6 of them. They're very large. This is, I think it's Aran weight, and it comes with 465 yards or 425 meters, 227 grams of yarn on here. So they're big. So I ordered 6, and when I got them, they gave me 2 different dye lots, which is kind of annoying. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. Have any of you ever worked with this yarn before, this fisherman's wool? If so, let me know whether or not you've seen a difference in dye lots. Like, do I have to, well, should I bet you I do. Oh, I think Alexandra used this yarn from November Woods. I'm going to check in with her because I think she might have had that exact same problem. I'm going to check in. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. Now I have to figure out what to do with the 2 different dye lots and how to do that, because I don't think I can get 1 sweater out of 3 balls. Not for my size. But anyways, yeah, so I'm on the hunt for the perfect kind of I want, like, you know, a traditional type fisherman's sweater type thing. Cables on it. All over cables. Okay, that's that. And then I have not chosen my specific patterns, although I do have several in my favorites on Ravelry for some summer tops. So I got 2 different colors of Quince & Co. Sparrow, which is a 100% linen. yarn. So I got this gorgeous copper color, which is so pretty and so shiny. And then I got this really pretty sage green. Hopefully it's showing up green on here, not gray. So yeah, I'll be making 2 summer tops out of these, or at least one, to go with my linen pants and my linen skirt. And that, I think, is it for all my future plans. So next up, I'll do the Spread the Love segment. So for those of you who are new, this is where I talk about, either I recommend some other podcasters, smaller podcasters, typically, you know, the ones that you may not have heard of, and you know, try and get them a little more recognized and send them some love. And I also do, sometimes I do giveaways, and basically anything that I feel can, you know, make someone happy. Spread the love. So I'd like to recommend 2 podcasts today. So first up is Allie. She's from the Black Spruce Knitting Podcast. I really enjoy Allie's podcast. Allie is, I believe she lives in Vermont, I want to say. I think that's where she is. And she is a lover of all rustic yarns. And she's always making something beautiful. And I don't know, I find her very interesting. She knit her own wedding dress in like record time. So you might want to check out that episode. It was really cool to see. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous on her. And what an heirloom piece that is. My goodness. Yeah, so yeah, Allie's great, and I highly recommend checking out her podcast. And secondly, I'd like to recommend Wild Cottage Ireland podcast with Susan. Susan is just a fantastic person. She's just so kind, and I just feel like she's like always trying to you know, lift others up and bring word to smaller designers and maybe smaller yarn dyers and especially Irish ones. And yeah, I just think I just really enjoy watching her podcast, and she does really interesting things. So she has a natural dye garden at her cottage, and I watched all of Susan's Vlogmases where she took us around Ireland a little bit, and we got to see some of the beautiful sites, which I think is really cool too. So anyways, yeah, highly recommend Wild Cottage Ireland with Susan and Black Spruce Knitting Podcast with Allie. And now I'll just talk a little bit about some life stuff. I have to make this short because I'm actually filming on my lunch hour and I gotta get back to work. Yeah, we had a wonderful Christmas. My mom was here for, I think, 7 or 8 weeks. I can't remember. And yeah, it was great having her around, and she was very much missed when she left, but she's going elsewhere now. She's going to see some relatives down south and friends, and then she's going to be heading out to Ecuador for a few months and wintering there. Lucky girl. So yeah, Christmas was great. It's been difficult, I will say, getting back into day-to-day life with, you know, work. I wish I could be retired and just knit my days away. Don't we all wish that? But yeah, so I'm slowly easing back in, and my daughter has a birthday coming up soon. She's turning 13. So we're gonna have 2 teenagers, and she has asked to do a skating party. So that'll be fun. We went and got new skates a couple weeks ago, and yeah, we'll round up some of her friends, and we'll go and do some skating, which I always love to do. So that's fun. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Not much going on. Cats. I'm sure you can hear my cat meowing in the background. Fun times, 5 cats. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna cut it short here. And if you did make it to the end, thank you so much for staying. If you did like this video, please do give it a like and make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And I will see you hopefully in 3 weeks or so. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyways, take care and happy making. Bye.